That is curious.
All right, we've made it to chapter 4, the beat bank. And as you can see, this chapter is just beats upon beats upon beats for your pleasure. And, some people would say, well, why did you make those 2 big long chapters? You could have just told me what to do and showed me the beats. And yeah, that's kind of true, but I really wanted to show you just how much goes into truly understanding what it takes to master a beat. And all of that black and white ink is what happens when you unfold all of that in one beat. And right now, if you just went through the first, or if you went through chapters 2 and 3 with me, your brain might be in a little bit of an analytical mush. And it still will be kind of like that as you're going down and drilling these beats, over the next 3-4 weeks, I would guess. But eventually, you will just kind of feel your way through. And there's no real better way to say that. It's a feeling that eventually you just kind of understand all around. You just kind of know when things open and close and the hands and the feet just start to do what they're supposed to do, even though you're just looking at one measure. You're looking at a beat in its foundational sense, but you can manipulate it in many different ways. And if you fully embody that drum beat, it should take, at least at first, about an hour or two to go to traverse this entire path. And once you get some momentum going over several weeks drilling these beats completely, it'll probably take you about maybe 15-20 minutes to go through all the fast tracks of a beat. And I would estimate that a student practicing this book properly would probably master every beat in this beat bank after about maybe a year. So that means 1 year to basically have independent limb autonomy and kind of a universal symbiotic relationship between your mental and physical capacities and all of your limbs. But remember, again, this is only 4/4 time. And although the same skill would transfer well into other time signatures, it does change things a bit. Nevertheless, your mental game will still be there, and it's much like riding a bike. Once you get it, you really don't lose it. Now, can you lose muscle memory? Yes, a little bit, but that comes back with a little bit of grinding and training again. But the mental memory is always going to be there. Okay, so you've gone through those 2 long chapters. By now, you should have a grasp on the mental game over all the subdivisions. Working them over a foundation. And this chapter is where the real work comes in. And the example that you see at the top of the beat bank or on the next page is a visual key of what should be sort of going on in your head as you're changing classes. So while I'm playing a beat in class 1, can you see class 2 in your head, how it all lines up before you start? Can you anticipate these things? And if you're wondering why the beat, looks so different when you're changing classes sometimes, it's because of what we talked about before. Sometimes we write it a little bit different to make it easier to read. But it is the same beat. You'll see it more what I'm talking about when you get down to example 3 and example 4. And the beats in this beat bank, they're not really arranged in any particular order. They're somewhat graded as you move down. When you get to the very last beats in the bank, that's more of just like for just drumming freaks. Some of them actually will be impossible to play in certain classes because there's just so much going on. But in general, they're graded as you move downward. Over time, as you progress down the page, you'll find yourself noticing that it just gets easier to feel your way through all of these changes in the subdivision classes. Little side note, something that's always kind of bothered me, you've probably noticed this too, when you're changing up like the subdivision in the right hand, or when someone says, play this beat, and then you play a beat, and then I'll now throw this on top, and now just do this little extra thing on the side, as if you're just kind of, throwing up a couple like sheets of plywood on a building that's already been constructed. It's not so much the same when it comes to drums. If you're playing a certain beat and you just introduce a new thing, it sounds like you're just adding a little bit more, but it's a whole different experience in your hands and in your body, which is kind of why we put it in so much detail in the previous 2 chapters, is so that you can kind of grind out all of those contingencies. And it's just like a car engine, like we were talking about before. You may have an engine, but once you add air conditioning or once you add something else, it changes everything else in there. And so really not until you drill this permutation cycle will it begin to feel like second nature to you. And this mental game helps you tremendously when you're behind the kit. If you're the kind that likes to think of a beat analytically, breaking it into these parts gives you more control to support your physical memory, the actual physical motion your body is doing. So I've selected here a beat at random from this beat bank, and we're going to traverse the entire fast track cycle. We're going to go through fast track class 1, fast track class 2, and fast track class 3. You'll notice in class 2 that we're not going to do the class 2A fast track because that's already accounted for in the whole fast track class 2. So when you are practicing on your own, it's important to kind of go over the class 2A fast track anyway if you want, at least occasionally. I wouldn't always do the class 2 complete fast track, until you really get a momentum going and you really are familiar with how to get around. But you'll notice in this example, we're just doing the class 2 full fast track.